It's been a sight to see. It's been a sight to see to watch Kendrick Lamar fans, or stans, I should say, become exactly what they say they hated, right? It's been a sight to see because now you're making graphics about numbers, right? In hip hop. And you're going to say, no, HQ, you don't get it. It's revenge for the OV hosts. Oh, no, I know. I'm tapped in. I've been seeing stuff like this. This is actually another version of the first one. I've seen it. Oh, I got it right on file. But that's not how life works, right? It's not how life works for people that want to actually make progress. Because at the end of the day, if you think a previous administration was doing something bad, you don't then get in power and start doing the same exact thing. You stick to your actual morals and what you believe in. If you believe the quality of albums are what's more important, you then don't start yapping about album numbers. And it just leads me to my conclusion, which is what I've always told you guys. When you try to tell me about the commercialization of rap, consumerism, I've never believed you lots for 1 minute. And I want you to leave me alone when I make these takes. Because at the end of the day, you just want to be the one in power. You don't want change. You don't want to change anything in this industry. You don't because to change anything in the industry require a lot more than you just championing this guy the way you think you're championing him. It requires a lot more work, right? What you really want is you want to be the guy in power, and you want to be behind the fan base of the person in power, the person that's running this whole thing. And it's interesting because I made a connection to this with dictatorship and governments. But okay, let's move on. At the end of the day, I've told you what's my stance. And that's the thing about me. I'm consistent with my stance. Numbers aren't the only thing they do tell a story. And I'll tell you why it's very disingenuous, right? So like you watch GNX, Kendrick Lamar's first week album numbers about 319. I've always told you I don't understand why anybody was telling you why that's a flop. But at the end of the day, that's coming off Kendrick Lamar, one of his biggest outside moments, right? Not like us doing crazy numbers involving Drake, right? And then you go with coming from that, one of the craziest beats of all time. You come in with a very fun project. Now, I'll bet it's a surprise. 319, very respectable. If anything, respectable. If anything, I think that's great. But then you compare it with Drake and PND coming out with an R&B album at this time. By the worst PR a rap person can get. Then you look Party Next Door. He's never been a super huge act. Then now you're bringing up Baca and Smiley. At the end of the day, you guys know, and I know, most of you only even know Baca because Kendrick mentioned him. And some of you have never listened to Smiley ever. I don't know what numbers you were expecting from that. And the same thing goes to Drake fans, right? Like, okay, so you do your version 2.0. So the first version wasn't good, right? You have to do a 2.0. Combine For All the Dogs and some sexy songs for you, right? For All the Dogs is when Drake wasn't dealing with the PR he's dealing with now. Great, he had good singles with that. He had with First Person Shooter, Shake the Game Up. Drake's always been being able to pull numbers back in the day, right? But then now you're comparing it with GNX, but you're comparing it with a producer album, right? And Mustard. Do I think Mustard just some little clowny stuff when you start talking the way he's talking about the albums? Absolutely. I'm